Welcome to the Sci-Fi Rebellion Podcast.
What?
All of you out there, you have no idea the work that we put into that.
That was a hard-ass intro.
Just know that we are taking the time to get you the good stuff.
The proper quality content that you look forward to each week.
Yes.
Only the good stuff.
Welcome. All of us are here. Say hello, everybody.
Hi. Hello.
Today, we will be talking about Loki, Episode 3, Bad Batch, Episode 9, and Rick and Morty, Episode 2. Got that straight? Keep those in mind. That's probably in the order we'll talk about them as well. So if you're interested in one, don't skip ahead.
Don't skip ahead. We will not provide any means of making it easier to skip ahead because you're not allowed to.
You have to crawl through the whole shit tunnel, and then at the end is the light in the rain that will
give you each $1,000 if you make it to the end. Which is
just the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Just you not having to listen to it anymore.
That's the reward, is that you don't have to listen anymore.
But you have to start to finish, you know?
That's right. And here we are, starting.
How about that?
So, Loki, Episode 3. What did we think, boys?
Well, you know, I don't know about you boys, but I didn't realize I was interested in both genders of Loki sexually, but apparently I am now. So it's just, you know, I really want to see that play out on screen. I don't know that that'll happen. That's just in my dreams, you know.
That Loki is going to have an intimate relationship with Loki.
I see. I know
that
a
romantic vibe going.
Loki likes Loki, but does Loki love Loki? You know what I mean? That's the question.
Loki should love Loki like Kanye loves Kanye.
Yeah, but as Loki, how can you trust Loki?
Well, Loki just simply can't trust Loki. You know,
love is an imaginary dagger.
But then Loki didn't even believe Loki when Loki suggested that idea. Let's go. All right, enough with the Loki memes. We'll call her.
Well, what did
she say? I like call it. Her name is Sylvie. Her name is Sylvie.
We'll call her
I could not get out of my head Pepe Sylvia from It's Always Sunny, so I've been calling her Pepe Sylvia ever since.
All right, so Pepe Sylvia it is.
Indeed.
Pepe Sylvia.
So we got to learn a lot more about her this episode.
Yeah.
She does seem like she has some redeeming qualities, which I found interesting. There's a lot of stuff that we found out this episode. To kind of back that up, we found out that I feel like we can't really trust the TVA anymore.
No, sorry.
Because nobody in the TVA actually knows what the heck is going on, because they're just stolen humans.
At least most of them. There's definitely still could be some that are like higher level up TVA or now at this point variants that have an inside scoop as to what's going on.
True, it could just be like the agents that are stolen.
Like you said, everything's questionable now. Everything we've been told is questionable.
Yeah, and the further into the show we get,
can he be trusted?
Can he be trusted? The less I feel like Lady Sylvia Mbappe is our true villain. I don't really think she is. I think we're going to get them both. I think we're going to get them both kind of working together for their own personal reasons that may not be all good intentions, but I think it's going to end up them helping the people of the TVA and then us finding out who the big baddie is actually.
Loki and Pepe Sylvia taking on the TVA. I think that's a fun time.
I agree. I agree. And I've been seeing a lot of memes about the theory we had previously that the TVA is possibly, now these are still all speculations, in the quantum realm. So that's interesting. I've been seeing all the memes about it. It's hard to avoid them.
Memes are currency nowadays,
They are.
There's a whole economy backing the meme.
The U.S. dollar's collapsing, but the meme is rising everfold.
Every day.
Mm.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. I think you're definitely right in saying Lady Loki, or what did you say the name was again?
Pepe Sylvia.
Right. Right. How could I have forgotten so quickly when it was such a...
Pepe Sylvia.
There we go.
So, Pepe's situation currently, based on what we saw in episode 3, is clearly changing. And I do believe that the relationship between Pepe and Loki will be one of mistrust.
I don't laugh every time.
I don't think that Pepe is necessarily more trustworthy than Loki, and Loki is definitely not trustworthy. So we know that any bond that seems to be taking place between them is probably not legit. But yeah, with that, the idea that the TVA is under someone else's control, or that there is some sort of major negative villain that's incoming, I think that is definitely the facts. I think we're going to see that play out quite possibly. I think episode 4, honestly, we're going to see something huge.
I mean, we're in the tail half. So
we're in the end game now.
Yeah,
this show seems to really be picking up steam very fast. Now, like you said, that we're already in the later half of it now, because it's a shorter series, but I still say that it really picked up steam really fast for it being still 6 episodes. We have already found out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we have.
Still have a lot of questions, though.
It keeps the momentum going, and that we don't spend another episode trying to charge a phone.
Yeah.
I just hope that they get the phone charged pretty much right off the bat and got that plan to go.
I think they will.
Because as cool as it was to see the story slow down a little bit and get to dive into the characters a little bit more, which was very fun. I was definitely least thrilled about this episode compared to the other two. The other two left me jaw dropped. This episode, I was it was fun, but nothing I was wow, I am enamored. I'm completely encapsulated with what's going on here.
Yeah, I think it was 100% an episode to build Pepe up.
Yes.
As a character. It was an episode dedicated to you getting to know Pepe. Which I liked. Yeah, it wasn't as game-changing. There were game-changing elements to this episode, but they weren't in the forefront. They were the variants are people taken from just normal timelines. That's a really big thing that we didn't get to touch on at all that episode. But I have a feeling that we're going to get a resolution. The TVA is probably going to come pick them up.
Yeah.
I would say at the start of the next episode, because otherwise they're just going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll die and we'll get some new variants. It's entirely possible.
Speaking of which, how beautiful was that episode, though? With the moon, breaking up in the sky, and just the city, blowing up and all the fighting. It was
that
cool
whole one shot where they were running through the as things were blowing up. I was you didn't have to do that, but you did. I like that. I appreciate that. It reminded me of the Bad Batch ending of that one episode where it was Hunter's first person perspective. I'm you didn't have to do it. There's a lot simpler ways to film that scene, but you were no, we're gonna get creative with it. We're gonna make it worthwhile.
Extra cool.
Yeah, exactly. So
the one thing I did. Oh, sorry. You can go. Cool.
I was just gonna say, speaking to a lot of the TVAs are variants that they don't know that they're variants. That 100% explains why Mobius or Owen Wilson is into jet skis. Either
Yeah.
he was a salesman or was an avid jet ski enthusiast. So one or the other. He's not just randomly interested in jet skis because he thinks they're cool.
Maybe he gave birth to one.
I hadn't considered that a possibility, but now that I have, I think that's more likely than him just being a jet ski.
The female
salesman.
jet ski can be very alluring.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past Mobius, that sly dog.
You'd ride that all day.
Ride that into the sunset. Also, yeah, it doesn't really need to be said, but if Disney doesn't have a shot of Owen Wilson riding a jet ski, the show was awful. Disregard everything we said about it. The show was a 0 out of 10. 0, and I'm giving numbers on that just so that I'm clear.
No more.
I also heard that his famous word will not be said in the series.
Ooh,
Which
wow. Wow. You're saying he's not gonna say wow?
Apparently, he in his dialogue has no wows
You
to be
know,
said.
all I have to say to that is, wow.
Wow.
I see an ad-libbed wow coming in, guys. I'm gonna say
He's
I
gonna
would
slide
like.
one in.
Wait, did you guys see that video on YouTube that was like one of the Marvel promotional things that was using Owen Wilson's voice, and it was like edited a ton? Did you see this clip?
No, I don't think so.
I think it was just like one of the trailers for Loki that showed some like behind the scenes footage with actors or whatever. And there's this clip where like I don't know why they butchered the audio, but it's like Owen Wilson talking. He's like, "This is my first time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe," and it literally sounds like almost exactly like that. But it's just great. Marvel really killing it on the ads.
That's odd.
This is my first time in the MCU.
Owen Wilson is trying his Forrest Gump impression.
I'll play it right here.
This is the first time for me in the Marvel Universe.
I might have played it right then. I hope you guys like that.
He played it. If you didn't hear it, you missed it. Go back and rewatch the entire video again.
And if we didn't play it, then we'll put it in the description. If we didn't put it in the description, find it yourself.
By clicking the subscribe button, then it'll pop up.
And if it doesn't pop up, then Google it. But only after you subscribe, like, alert bell, the whole, you know the deal at this point. It's YouTube. Come on, guys.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting episode. I like to, Jarod, it was weird that you basically called it. You were like, man, I wish I could see some more of Loki's powers. And then, boom, we got to see some more of Loki's powers and how they're different from Pepe Sylvia's.
Some call me a prophet, but yeah,
I liked it.
that was sweet.
We got to see like how they're similar. Like they're both still the offspring, we'll say, of that frost giant Luffy,
yes.
But slight variation since that her mom, I think that she said, had died at a younger age, like when she couldn't even remember her. So I like to see how they were different but also still similar, and especially with the fact that, again, Loki's supposed to be one of the best magicians or sorcerers in the MCU, and thus far before this all we saw him do was illusions. And oh, look at these knives, look, now they're gone. Like, oh wow, really?
He still likes that one. He still likes just
his brother is the god of thunder and lightning and can just destroy planets.
Oh, he's adopted.
Loki is adopted, but he didn't even use ice powers that his entire race has. So it's like, are you gonna? But no. We got to see him make things disappear, keep things in a pocket dimension, and do all this kind of crazy stuff. At one point, I don't know if my eyes were playing tricks on me, but a building was about to fall on them, and he just stopped it, and then was boop.
He almost reversed.
What the hell has that been?
Yeah, he almost like reversed time for that building.
I couldn't tell if it was reverse time or just like pushing it back, but either way, I was like,
regardless, really cool.
Feels like you could have used that in the Battle of New York.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't have, because that wasn't written yet.
Walked into the Empire State Building, just gone. Push that baby over.
Battle over.
So I've got a tangent that I literally just thought of. So, when Ant-Man's mom? No. What's the Wasp's mom?
Yeah.
Wasp's mom.
Hank's wife. The
Hank's
OG
wife.
Janet Van.
So when she say that they are the TVAs in the quantum realm, okay? When she was in the quantum realm and came out, she was gifted with like hours almost. Like she was able to fix things by like touching. I don't even quite remember exactly what her abilities were when she came out, but she was definitely different when she came out. Now, I wonder if that's just time spent in the TVA, or if you actually have to acquire abilities by exploring the TVA. I don't know, but if all these people are real people in the TVA and they come out eventually, are they gonna all have like weird mystical power of such
mutant time?
I would probably say no in this, because
it's an interesting thought, Winnie.
I personally think that the reason Wasp got those powers when she left the quantum realm was because they wanted to fix Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
And they just thought maybe they could write that in. It seems to me, and I hope you're right, Jarod. I hope it was really well thought out. Oh, we're going to explore it more in Loki, so it'll all make sense a little bit later. I hope it was that, rather than bad writing. Better than, which I... Unfortunately, Ant-Man and the Wasp tends to seem that it's like leaning towards the latter.
Well, yeah. Well, the nice thing is with how they do things, they can kind of when fans yell at them for those things, they can go back and fix them by making new things.
Actually,
Disney, this is us yelling at you.
Yeah.
Remember that guy in the background? Main villain. Coming? You guys saw that?
Yeah.
Speaking of villain, or I mean, in the background, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, at one point when they go down to the quantum realm, there is a city, like a straight up city, in the background.
A quantum city per se?
A quantum city per se.
You would call it a okay.
You might quanticity. Quant.
Take the C out, see what it sounds like.
Whether that's Kang, that they were again teeing up for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, or whether that was the TVA that they're teeing up, who knows? But I'm definitely thinking the quantum theory makes sense, and it would help tie it into things that we like, oh, okay, well, we already know this, so we're not just like, oh, there's just been this entire other thing that we have no idea why it's never been discovered or whatever. So,
and I at this point, I'm feeling like some of this stuff is, I'm hoping that some of this stuff links up so well that I'm hoping it's that, because if it isn't, I'm not quite sure what direction they're going to be going in. But some of this stuff just links up. It links up too well from what we know about, what little we know about future movies, what we know about past movies. It just seems like it all links up too well to not be that way. Yeah.
100%.
It's very hard to imagine they don't play it out like that. And yeah, Jarod, you're exactly right. Like, that's Marvel in the past like 5 years has become well known for, and Disney, I guess, as well, at trying to be like, yeah, let's make things a little better. So I definitely think something like that could happen in touching on the Wasp and that whole situation. I realized after I said the thing about mutants, I don't think that would work, right? Because mutants are at birth, right?
Yeah, you're right.
That would take the whole.
But superhuman army, led by
cool.
Kang or something, that would be crazy. These are based in nothing other than just thoughts, but
just thoughts that are rolling off the cuff.
I had thought that Wanda was going to create mutants and possibly WandaVision. I thought she was going to be like expand her like whole hex like across the entire world.
So they're just a little too far out yet.
Stuff and people, but yeah,
soon.
Who knows when mutants will pop up? Who knows if it's going to be something that like they've been around, but they weren't in the crazy kind of numbers that we're going to eventually see, or if it's going to be something that awakens everybody, or who knows? Who the frick knows? Although I believe I'm not very good with my knowledge on Ms. Marvel, not Captain Marvel, but Ms. Marvel. I'm pretty sure she's a mutant.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know if she is as well. I'm not great with her lore, but I'm pretty sure that I've heard that she's a mutant in the past.
That's a good question.
But if you're not a part of the X-Men, then you're called like an Inhuman or something, which is like the same thing. I like mutant better than Inhuman.
So with the same thought process going, then I have another thought. If Kang is supposed to be in Quantum Mania, the Ant-Man movie, does that mean we'll possibly get Pepe and Loki in an Ant-Man movie?
I could see it.
Maybe. I could see it happening.
There's a chance.
But I wouldn't also bank on it.
I mean, I think, Cole, you might be right. It seems crazy drastic, but I would say if the ending of Loki is as, like, world-changing and altering as it's supposed to be from what I've heard, there is always that chance that it is finally time to say goodbye to Loki. And it seems unlikely that they might pull that just because we're finally seeing a little bit more to his character. But yet again, it's only fitting that he finally reaches a character change that they can be like, and salute.
Well, I mean, it's where phase 4 seems to be the passing of the torch phase. We got Captain America passing it off to Sam Wilson. We got, what's it called? We got Black Widow possibly passing off to Florence Pugh's character. I think her name's like Yelena or something like that. And in the comics, she becomes the new Black Widow. So we could easily see Loki passing off to Pepe, and Pepe's the new Loki running around in
possible.
Oh, that would be interesting
in Marvel. And so I could very well see that being a thing. I think I think if anything, it'd be like a Vision situation from WandaVision, where they bring it back just to be like, here's a proper goodbye, like almost like a memoriam kind of thing.
Unless you're White Vision, in which case
you're back.
You're somewhere right now.
Well, you're a new Vision's running around, much like a new Loki could be running around. So, and this one likes to keep the horns on. She's a little horn dog.
Yeah, I guess I won't dive into the thinking back to WandaVision, but it will be interesting to see White Vision going forward, because that's a totally different character, really.
Exactly.
He's got the memories, so he's got a past, but he's not the same person at all. So it will be interesting. But I really like that line of thinking, though. It really does seem like the passing of the torch. What do they call it? Phase.
Yeah, it's like a phase progression.
Yeah.
You're moving up.
I like that.
It's weird to think, though, that like should that be the definitive move that they're making, that it's like our era of Marvel is coming to a close, where it's like goodbye to like the OG Cap, the OG Iron Man, Hulk, Thor. We're even getting new Thor as well. So it's like, I don't want to.
I just gotta hope like what comes in is good.
Yeah, it's like when you're old and all your old Navy buddies are dying, and you're like, shit. What do I have left? All this news.
To that.
Yeah.
I'm actually 90.
And we fought in both World Wars.
And my name is Wolverine.
My name's not.
You are the male in X-Men Origins Wolverine, the brother.
I'm the Asian guy.
There you go. I'm confused what's going on now.
I don't think we should ever reference X-Men Origins Wolverine again. I'm just going to say that. That's my bad.
Best
I apologize
X-Men
to anyone.
movie.
You know, I liked the film. So I'm just going to drop that. And if anyone hates me from now on, that's understandable. It's a great film.
All right, yeah, I can't do this podcast.
No debate.
Yeah,
All right.
So,
Any last thoughts on Loki? What are we thinking, guys?
Excited to see where it goes. Let's hope the next 4 or next 3 episodes are an absolute roller coaster of a ride in all good ways, no bad ways.
I saw you put Winnie. What's Mobius up to?
Yeah, I was like, what's Mobius up to?
Probably looking
What's he
for
doing?
them.
What's he?
We
up
did find out that they can hide in apocalypses. That's probably why they haven't been immediately picked up now. Because like time works differently. Theoretically, as soon as they got there, if they were in a spot, they'd instantly be able to tell where they are. But because they're hiding in an apocalypse, I imagine the TV is having a pretty hard time.
And also, when they found Pepe, they had the candy to go off of. They don't have anything to go off of.
No chewing gum.
No.
Unless... No, yeah, the portal closed before anybody else went in. So yeah, they have nothing to go off of where they would have went.
And I imagine
unless Mobius and Loki had a conversation of like, ooh, I really wanted to go here during that apocalypse. That one looks fun. I don't know.
And I imagine that they're also still pretty busy cleaning up the
oh yeah, that's right. The timeline is literally getting destroyed right now. As well.
I'm sure the TVA is in shambles right now.
Yeah. Those poor 80s machines, their little spectrometers and charts are just getting printed, and the faxes and the scans, and it's mayhem.
All right. Yeah. Well, episode 3.
Stay tuned for more further discussions regarding Loki and Locust as a whole.
Now,
yeah.
There's a bad group of individuals known as the Bad Batch, and they recently had the 9th episode, if you believe it, of their new show.
Coincidental, because they are Clone Force 99. So
oh!
If you add another 9.
2 9s.
It really doesn't add anything to the episode, but it's cool if you think about it.
Changes everything.
Changes everything and nothing.
But everything.
But what an astute thing to realize, Cole. You're so...
I'm a smart guy.
You really surprise me sometimes with how...
I know. I surprise myself. It's wild.
I'm just going to leave.
God.
So, what'd you boys think of this episode, eh?
There were some interesting moments in here. I think, it was moving pretty quick. It was interesting to see just we've been talking for the last while about wanting to see some more like of the dark parts of the show. And I think the whole moment with Omega in the cloning facility there was like pretty dark. Like she was faced with some very real facts of who she is and what her situation is. I had some interesting questions, I think, regarding that. But I'll wait for them. Overall, I think it's going to be interesting going from here. They definitely set up where we're, like Cole predicted last episode. I think we are definitely seeing Boba pretty soon. I think it's just a matter of time. That'll be really interesting to see how that works out. It'll be weird seeing them meet.
Their relationship. Yeah, should they end up actually meeting? I personally will speak on that clone thing, the cloning little facility. That's Snoke, right?
No, it's not.
It has to be.
It's
Snoke.
not. I went back, dude. I swear it's not. I looked back at it like 100 times, and then I
remember when you said abomination was an abomination. I said, look at the ears.
That's because
in this case, look at the head.
The ears were confusing me because I was like, it doesn't look like abomination as we've seen him already. But I didn't realize they would have changed his look or whatever. So I'll take that. I'll take that. Side note, not. I was so on it right now, and now you just killed me with that abomination of a comment.
Cut him down.
Ooh, that was smart. Good wordplay.
Yeah. But no, it's definitely not Snoke. I think, here's what I think, and this is just a theory, but I think that the Mandalorians themselves, or not Mandalorians, the Kaminoans themselves are cloning themselves. If maybe not for the preservation of their species, but possibly for like key individuals. Like the name of the key guy is, I forget it, something weird. What?
Dinosaur Man.
Yeah, the main the main dinosaur, the big fella with the mohawk. He I could see maybe that being like one of his backup bodies, like just in case. I also watched this video that was talking about how basically Kamino used to be like not underwater, and they had to genetically alter themselves to be able to like sustain the new atmosphere. But I don't think that they would just randomly like drop a body of one of the Kaminoans just to be like, and you can see they were in fact genetically manipulating themselves. So possibly Kamino and Clone Army. I don't think that's coming. That would be cool though.
It could be. The only reason I say Snoke is obviously we found out Snoke's a cloning kind of genetic thing, and thus far Kaminoans have been like the biggest genetic altering people, and also just it seemed like taller than an average person and very slender, but still like bigger sized head. So I could be completely wrong, but also it seemed like we saw Snoke actually clone Rise of Skywalker, and it seems like they just want to keep working on the fact that they're like, Snoke has been being cloned for a very long time, because we saw it pop up in The Mandalorian, all those Snoke clones, and I'm still sticking with the theory that I think that's Snoke. I don't think we're going to get to see it explored, but I think that was a Snoke cloning operation. But it would make it interesting that it's randomly on the other side of the galaxy.
Don't listen to him. He's wrong. Everyone.
But
he's lying to you.
To speak more on something that pertains to the episode more so, I loved that we got to see basically Omega doing shit on her own. Like, that was like a cool moment, just a cool episode. Like she knows the Bad Batch is coming, but she's got to use all the training and skills that she's learned so far and survive Fennec Shan and Cad Bane duking it out.
She's getting old and experienced.
Yeah. He's getting old.
She was so young.
So yeah, I liked the episode. It felt like everything. It felt like the same kind of problems I had with like earlier episodes, where it didn't really like shoot the story that much further. But I liked it this time because I don't know, it like added character to Omega. We got the revelation that she is a genetic identical clone of Jango Fett, thus also kind of a sister to Boba. So it explored things but didn't progress the story, so I was okay with it, if that makes sense.
There are two people after Omega, two different groups.
Yeah,
there's two different types of hunters coming after. No, I mean, there's Fennec, and then there's Cad Bane, and they're both after her for different people.
So
right?
Who hired Fennec? Yeah, it seems so. So who's going?
Yeah, exactly. Who?
Oh, Fennec was the man.
Yeah, no,
we already saw
I'm
that.
dumb. It's the different. It's the two dinosaur.
It's the female Kaminoan. Fennec was like, not safe, but she was like, as long as she's out of the hands of whatever the guy.
My other dinosaur. Yeah, my other
dinosaur compadre,
who just wants her back, and then essentially killed. So
only the Kaminoans want her back, but it's two different kinds of Kaminoans.
Yeah, we could get like a Kaminoan civil war.
Okay, because I was a little confused on that.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that until you said something.
Yeah, because so there's Kaminoans that are working with the Empire together for mysterious purposes. And then there's the other ones that just want her safe.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. Like, so they laid out in the initial few episodes, the Kaminoans need a new person to use for their clone sampling, and so that's why they want Omega back. And so the male dinosaur wants her back to sample and then kill, and then the female dinosaur who had a connection with Omega and like raised her is just like, yeah, let's keep her safe. So yeah, and clearly she's trying to keep that private, which is like understandable, because I don't know whether that's her like husband or whether it's some sort of Senate type relationship. But interesting to see if that'll play negatively in her favor.
It's probably more of a governmental thing than I would say relationship wise.
For sure. I like I like the whole Alpha and Omega thing, because like I just kind of assumed that was her name. Like obviously Omega means to close, to end the finale of stuff. But I didn't really think anything of it beyond that's just a cool name that she has. And then they were like, well, there was an Alpha clone, which obviously means beginning, and that being Boba. So I wonder if that just meant like that was like the first clone that they did unaltered, and Omega will be the last one that they did unaltered, or if there's a myriad of clones between that are similar to them. But I also think that was Omega's special thing. I'm leaning against that she's force sensitive now. She still could be, but I think that after that revelation, I think it would, if they had another revelation that she's force sensitive, I think it would dilute the impact of both reveals.
Yeah, Cole, was it you that said that you don't think she's force sensitive anymore earlier this week?
Yeah, that was me. After I don't think she's force sensitive anymore.
You coming after my idea?
Had we not figured out,
coming after my theory, trying to poke holes in it, and look at you. Look at you. You're right back at square one, right with me.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I think that 2 reveals would lessen the impact of both of them. So I think, again, but I said specifically, she very well still could be. But I think that it makes more sense that that's her big thing. That's why she's so important.
I think.
She's just like the last clone that they feel like is really good.
Yeah, yeah. Because
what makes her so special? What does she have that Boba doesn't?
No, I'm saying her and Boba are identical. One's a girl.
Oh, yours. Okay. You're just saying that it's another one.
Yeah. Like, all the other clones were altered in some ways, whether it was genetically so they age faster, or whether it was to make them more compliant or whatever. But Omega and Boba, or if you want to say Alpha and Omega, both are like just complete replicas of Jango Fett. So like they have all the strengths that Jango did, which obviously if you put a regular clone up against Jango Fett, even though technically one's a clone of Jango Fett, it's not even a contest.
Because one of them has jetpacks.
You throw a jetpack on the clone, I still don't think it's gonna matter. I think Jango would fuck him up.
You're right.
So yeah, I think that's her whole big thing.
Yeah, I think this story clearly could go somewhere really great. From where we're at now, I mean, it clearly seems like they're setting up Omega to survive. To me, it would seem insane that they build yet another character that, like, I haven't really heard a lot of the Star Wars fandom saying anything bad about Omega, though I try to avoid the people who are just shit-talking everything Star Wars. But so I feel like it's very hard to imagine that they're like, and we kill the kid. Show's done. Yeah. And horrible ending, but she had to die. No one liked her anyways. Like, yeah, I don't see them doing that.
No, I think that Omega could also work. Like, the name itself could be like a clue to that she's going to be the last clone running around the universe. Like, she's the last one of this like specific kind of whole operation. Yeah. Batch, if you were.
If you will.
So yeah, I like it. I like that reveal. We got to see more Cad Bane. I'll never say no to Cad.
Never.
It's also cool to see 2 bounty hunters going at it for a lot of the episode. Yeah, getting to see their skills, their tactics. It just seems like Cad Bane, even when he's got the like, when something bad is happening to him, he's just always got something for the occasion. His jetpacks just always, his little jet boots always seem to come in.
Flamethrower.
He's got the flamethrower. He's got the little robot helper. He just always seems, and then obviously he's like a master, like quick draw, like kind of Western shooter. So he's like the fastest in the West
of the galaxy.
of the galaxy.
Fastest in the outer rim.
Yeah. But that being said, Finnick definitely put up a good fight.
Oh, yeah.
And it was another cool little fight between them, which I really liked for most of the episode. It was pretty cool.
And then Seth Green running around as a little 2-foot tall droid that lost his leg.
I like that droid.
It's really perfectly brand new. Great droid.
What you talking about? She's right here. Oh.
Yeah, I like the little droid. He's a good guy.
Great character.
He's basically his Cad Bane's only flaw.
Yeah, it's weird that for as efficient and like ruthless as a bounty hunter he is, he doesn't have like another IG droid like helping him out. He has like a little tiny guy who's just running around making jokes. It's like I will not be talked to that way.
Yeah, but he always seems to repair him too, though. Maybe not immediately. He's not the kindest to the little guy.
No, but he's definitely run through a few of them because I know that in his first appearance,
it blows up.
He used it as a bomb.
I was wondering that when we saw this guy, I was like, I guess there's more than one.
Yeah. He always gets another one.
That data bank there. Whoops.
So he at least likes that kind of droid enough that he always keeps one around.
Yeah, it's the contrast. It makes him seem even more edgier.
Yeah.
Even edgier. So
Definitely.
I would probably do that too. Also, maybe to keep him like, okay, I would be a really dark, disturbing man if I didn't have
a little bit of brightness.
A little bit of brightness in my life.
Well, I feel like if you were in the Star Wars universe, you'd be more like that pirate guy.
Hondo.
You'd be Hondo.
Dude, that for sure. He's living his life. He's just like it.
You'd take advantage of both sides.
Any
But
situation.
You'd be friends with everybody.
One minute I'd be like
be.
arm around Kenobi, even though he really wants to stab me, and then I'd be like, oh, but you two horned guys, like, hey, I can get behind that too. You let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
I think you would just be one of the people that works for Hondo, Cole, and
no,
you would
I
just
would be
like,
Hondo.
You'd be like stacking the spice and working on schemes with your friends. You'd be like, so we could steal this spice, and they'd be like, from Hondo, and you'd be like, yeah. And then you'd go and you'd try to steal the spice, and then Hondo would catch you, and he'd be like, Cole, my old friend, how can you do this to me again? I don't understand. And you would be like, well, the spice, I had to get some of the spice because I was almost out of the spice. And he'll be like, oh, this is my spice. And then he's going to send you to space jail, and you won't have any spice for the rest of your life. And that's what I think you're closer to that than, I'm just being honest.
And Winnie, you would be that
a gonk droid.
Fuck. No, you would be the guy from the original trilogy where he has the last part to Qui-Gon's ship and he won't sell it to him.
Oh,
Watto. You'd be that guy.
That character has been deemed socially insensitive now. We don't talk about him.
But that would be you.
Honey, I haven't seen you in so long. Honey.
Jedi tricks do not work on me. Only money.
Yep. And I think those would be your Star Wars people.
I'm cool with Watto.
If Jarod was a Star Wars guy, ooh, this is gonna get. Jarod. There's not a chance you know who I'm talking about, and Winnie, I'd be hard pressed to feel like even if you did, You would be. Hang on. How do I look this up? Gymnastic.
Look it up.
Gymnastics.
Bounty hunter. Star Wars.
Gosh, I at least gave you guys ones with names. I'm gonna be gymnastics boy. I'm like the least flexible person I know.
Okay, I'll give you somebody better. You'd be Embo. His name's Embo. He is similar to Cad Bane in that he has a wide brimmed hat. But he doesn't.
I like this guy from Clone Wars.
Yeah, and he like rode it like a shield.
Yeah,
kinda,
it's like a turtle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I like that.
He just sounded like.
Oh yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about.
He has like a friend that's like gymnastic and has like a little like whip, and it's like a bladed whip, and they're just doing a bunch of gymnastics. I don't know why, but I instantly thought of you.
I'll never forget Jarod's skill with the color whip. I that's burned into my memory now. I know. Right. For everyone listening, Jarod is a master, and I don't mean to expose him, but he really has mastered the colored thing on the stick. I don't know what you want. What do you call that?
I believe you call that a streamer.
A streamer, yes. You're a streamer god.
You did run around streamer at Minithon. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
You really took full advantage of that situation.
Yeah. And who? Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say when somebody says I have a skill. I'm not gonna
say I'm a bad streamer. I mean,
I don't know if anybody else could have pulled it off.
That's all
I'm saying. I don't know anyone better than me at streaming, but I'm not gonna say I'm a good streamer. But
I don't know any streamers, but by that logic, I'm the best one I know.
I know.
So
that little tangent, obviously, for the audience, is who we would each be if we were Star Wars characters.
Yeah, we planned that bit out actually.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely had that in our notes to discuss.
But Bad Batch, I think we pretty much capped that off. I mean, a lot to look forward to there. Good stuff coming. Any last comments?
One last critique, and this is kind of similar to my Wrecker argument from 2 episodes ago. I kind of wish the Bad Batch wouldn't have found her by the end of the episode. I kind of wish that she would have stayed doing her own thing, and we get 2 separate storylines where, like, maybe Bad Batch goes to Boba to try to help track her down or something like that, and Omega, we're getting like full-on independent Omega trying to figure out what to do.
Like a two-parter.
It would also really show like how hard it would be to find somebody in a galaxy, because not only do you have to find which planet that they're on, but specifically where on the planet that they're on, which it seems like Star Wars never really pays attention to that. They're like, oh, everything that we need on this planet is right in this one city that we land at. Versus it'd be like, no, you got to travel about 16 hours that way, and then like. So that was just a small gripe, and I don't think it was detrimental.
I honestly don't know if I've ever even thought about that until now. They always land in the right place, don't they?
Yep.
Or within walking distance.
They always show them in walking distance, but like if they landed at the wrong place, it's a spaceship. You know, they can go zip zip zop.
True, those things are pretty fast.
They just cuddle that. I want to see. Okay, let me rephrase. I want to see more of them finding the wrong spot and then picking up and going to the other spot.
You want to see way more.
Mandalorian.
That sounds like something that would inevitably piss people off, because they'd be like, oh, they're just doing a side quest because they went to the wrong place. Why can't they just ever land in the right place?
They always land in the wrong place.
I can definitely see 2 sides to the coin on that one, where people would be pissed either way.
I'm not even saying that there needs to be something going on where they land. I just think that I want to see them land there, look around, realize they're in the wrong spot, and then picking up and going somewhere else.
That'll be in the Star Wars film directed by Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Or maybe one time they come down in a place, and then they go out and do their mission, and then they're just walking around like hitting the beeper, and they're like, where did I freaking park?
I told you there was trees all around it. I don't know what.
Where the hell did we park in the ocean?
Was it this parking depot or I don't know. It's the whole planet's a desert planet. We're screwed.
Busted by the one dude.
Getting out of here, man.
So yeah, Bad Batch episode 9, fun time. We'll see where the next 7 episodes take us.
Very good, very good.
Now,
For audio listeners, I'm sticking my tongue out right now.
Put it away. They don't even.
For those same audio listeners, I'm still sticking my tongue out.
he's doing a lot more, and if you're listening to audio, be happy.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube Red, then turn off your screen so you can continue listening without having to watch what just happened. You don't want to see that.
Disturbing.
But like and subscribe, and then double check to see if I stop sticking my tongue out.
And he will have. No, I take it back. Screen's off.
Turn them off.
Moving forward.
Yes, please, for the love of God,
Rick
pass the tongues.
And Morty. What
Rick?
a absolute
Banger.
banger.
Mind fuck of an episode.
I was so confused so many times. And it was fantastic.
When I started watching this, I was trying to find it on like YouTube. And I was watching this stream, and I looked away for like 15 seconds, and I was like, I think it restarted, because I know I just heard this vocal line. And then I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And then that was essentially the rest of the episode, was me wondering what was happening. The whole thing with the squids. My favorite moment, though, easily, dude, the little slug guy that got like electrocuted and then made the jelly bean.
Hunt me.
The hunt me guy was great as well.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
No, the little slime that Rick had on the table that he like electrocuted.
Oh, yeah, and he goes,
great.
God, I'm great.
Also, just the cold open to them being like, what are you doing today, Rick? And he's like, we're hunting the Christian God.
He's out there killing all the clouds. He's up
ridiculous.
there. Yeah, that was once we got about halfway through the episode, I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna let this episode end, because I'm not even gonna try to figure it out right now. Every single time I'm like, oh, this is the real. Nope. Okay. Even like
no point.
Yeah, even Rick himself, like the amount of times he was
this is probably for the best.
And he was like, dude, I love the where they were all standing in the ocean and like holding hands, and he's like, oh, this is a nice last thing, anything on our bucket list? And Jerry's like, I've always wanted to go to every MLB baseball game. And Rick goes, no. Keeps going, and they have like a happy ending, and then Morty's like, did we need to kill them?
There was a couple times in the episode where Rick has a breakthrough emotionally, and you're like, oh, I hope that's the real one. Then we get some like forward progress with the character of Rick, and then it turns out like 3 Rick families later, and they're just I guess the one. No, they got killed too. Yeah, there's no progress.
No progress.
Yeah.
Because they were just the true one was out in space, right?
Yeah. With Beth. With Space Beth.
It's not the fake one.
They picked her back up.
Yeah.
Space Beth's back.
You even like at one point, Rick's like with the family. He's like, so you guys want to know more about Beth's mom, huh? And they all die.
Yeah. Instantaneous
I was like,
death.
What? No.
Yeah, it was like everything. And that's one of my favorite thing about Dan Harmon as like a writer is he just like shoves all the things that fans say they want to know in their face, and he's like, oh, here it is, and then just destroys it. Like he's like, you guys. I think the way he thinks in a way is like, you guys think you want to know all those extra details and characterization, but I don't think you want to know. I think the fact that we never know a lot of those things makes the series better because he just gets to do these goofy stories instead, and they're always, for the most part, they're always phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's without being weighed down by the mythology of it. I forget what show or movie or whatever said it, but they were like, if you have something that's like a mystery, and the longer it's built up, the less interesting whatever the reveal is going to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's no matter what answer you give them, it's not going to be as interesting as like, oh, well,
not knowing.
Yeah. Oh, it's like if you have a monster in a movie, you never show the full monster because your imagination's always going to be a lot scarier than what the monster actually is.
Exactly.
Because it's limited physically with everything that it is and can be. Versus in your head, you're like, your brain's just filling in all these horrible things that like, oh, it could be like this, could be like this. So
yeah. I think he likes
Mephisto.
I think he likes that everybody theorizes, but I don't think we're really ever gonna truly get defined answers. We'll get snippets.
I want to like season 10. Season 10.
Yeah.
Maybe make it feel a little bit more weighted and like impactful and like emotional.
Even more depressing than normal.
Yeah, but I could also see Dan Harmon being like, "Fuck that."
The very ending just outdoes like the whole season of story building.
Dude, and the very ending, Rick takes off like a VR helmet, and it's like just younger Rick that he made. He's like, "Oh, so that could be my life in the future."
That would be such a cop out.
Like yeah, 100%. But I could see Dan Harmon doing.
You know what?
Like
that sounds like the ending of Lost.
Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
Yeah, no one wants that, Cole.
I don't want that either. I want like a crazy finale to the show. I can't even fathom what like Rick and Morty firing at all cylinders could do for its finale.
Yeah,
they could have fireworks in the show.
Or cylinders.
Good. But the one thing that I just love, one part that I love about Rick and Morty is how much they break the third wall. And fourth, sorry. There are three.
I don't know what third wall breaking is.
Fourth. That's just like walking,
third wall.
making the slightest motion.
Just the direction of the camera is
just the fact that he constantly put in those tidbits of like things that people wanted to know and then killed off that family. Hilarious. It's such a smart way of like breaking the fourth wall. Like it's so smart. I love how he always does it, and it's always something really unique of how he does it. He's a smart man.
Much like Deadpool, we don't have any explanation as to why they know what they know, like why they know that they're in a TV show or whatever, which would definitely explain Deadpool and Rick's nihilistic view, because they're like, I am what the writers will me to be.
Just a character.
As much free will as I think I have, I'm not.
Maybe that was like Rick realized that and then had to start drinking and like prescribing himself things in order to get past that memory and pain. He had to invent the brain, the memory suck, whatever it was called.
Yeah, Morty's mind blowers.
Mind blowers, yeah. He had to make the mind blowers for himself first.
Yeah, could.
In one of the universes, that is exactly what happened.
Which it would also explain why Rick is so devoted to like proving that he's the best person, like the most powerful. The amount of times he said he's a god, like it's because he wants to feel like he's the ultimate power in the universe, when he knows that he, in the real world, has no power beyond just being a 2D animation.
Yeah, well, it's either
meta.
It's either that he's like so powerful. Yeah, I don't even know. He's so powerful that he's like bored. So he's
surely part of it.
He's constantly trying to find something that is more powerful than him. So he puts himself in risk situations so often, but he always comes out on top. So in the end, he's still like, well, I guess I'm still number one. And I think he's just constantly trying to test himself because he is so smart. He's just getting bored.
Wants to maintain the Rickiest Rick status.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the Rick that did that giant hologram thing, that wasn't. He's like, this might be the most Rick Rick thing to do or whatever.
Yeah.
That wasn't even Rick.
No.
Like that wasn't even
Nobody on the planet fighting was them. They were off doing another mission.
Yeah.
All that had completely like just transpired
as they were gone.
The main family knowing anything that's going on besides that little notification at the end that was like, oh, decoy family's down.
Yeah.
When there's decoys and decoys. What did he call it? The something paradox? You remember what I'm talking
Must
about?
be a real thing.
It has to be.
Or from a movie. Because he was talking about that one movie.
I bet it's from the movie.
Yeah, I think it's from the movie. But yeah, I think that whole episode was like kind of playing off that movie, but I don't know what the reference was, so I'm not quite
I also think that what's it called? There wasn't like necessarily a big point to the episode. I'm sure if I rewatched and analyzed it, I could. But even Rick at one point was like, "Here, we gotta throw something in so we can do the message or whatever." Like even Rick himself was like, "Yeah, I don't think there's much to be like got out of this episode beyond pure enjoyment."
And every time there were so many moments where you're like, that's the real family. Like in the last one where they were dressed as cute versions of themselves, and then they take off the outfits, and I was like, oh, okay, that's them. And they make this big breakthrough, and that's almost like how you know they're fake is if they had a breakthrough moment, then it's fake. They're gonna die because
there's no breakthroughs happening in the family there.
They hate breakthrough moments.
I also like all the different like variations as like they were like as decoys make decoys, they get worse and worse. And how there's like those puppet ones and
yeah, and then the final scene of the episode with Jerry as the wooden Jerry just going down the river, going through time.
He was like he's like, wait, we regressed all the way back to Christianity? What?
This is the worst thing ever.
Yeah. That was funny.
I feel like all of the like little ending gags, any of them that have to do with Jerry, are the best.
Oh, every time.
Invisible garbage truck Jerry.
That whole thing was hilarious until he forgets where the keys are.
or the one where it's just Summer and her friend looking at Jerry doing gardening. I think I wanna fuck your dad.
So who gets into beekeeping? Like, what does a beekeeper do? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Also kind of hot. I don't know. Summer, I want to fuck your dad. Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Jerry's great. I like how even like the robot Pinocchio Jerry was like still a piece of shit too. Like he locked himself and he's like, I never asked for this.
Yeah.
Oh man, lots to look forward to from this season.
For sure, I'm loving the first 2 episodes. As like pointless as that episode was, I had a blast watching it.
Yeah.
Like, every 5 minutes, I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?"
The nice thing about Rick and Morty is you don't need answers. You just have to enjoy the ride.
It's such a high bar of quality that Rick and Morty has set, and like even when they have like duds, it's still like an enjoyable episode. So
yeah, you wonder if they can keep it up.
5 more. They're halfway through. Do they have all that like the stuff that they made for all the previous stuff? Do they have that many more ideas moving forward? That's the question.
And every season I always come back to it thinking like this is when things are gonna start getting bad. Or not bad, just stale.
Yeah.
And then he comes out with another idea that I love.
Mm-hmm.
And he just does such a good job of brewing up these weird ideas.
So creative, dude.
For
Legend
sure.
in the creative field there.
Yeah, literally. I can't think of anybody that's come up with those kind of things, like those kind of plot ideas, and like how much attention they'll give to the most minute of like oh, this is one brief little sentence we brought up, and we're going to fully explore it just for a joke. And then 2 minutes later, it means nothing to the rest of the episode, but it was a genius little insert.
Well, he's actually starting to get a lot of steam with how, like, people are starting to talk about his writing style in how he, like, writes stories. You know how he has, like, a very specific roundabout way of writing stories? He's kind of got it graphed out. He's written it down before and how he writes stories. Yeah. And people are actually starting to, like, talk about that in, like, a very respectful way, which I find really interesting. Like, people really respect how he does the show, even though it's a really odd, childish show.
Yeah. It's probably, like, the most meta show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hands down.
Like, Family Guy will get a little meta sometimes. So there's, like, shows about being shows, but, like, Rick and Morty... meta through and through, whether it's like about a show, whether it's about like space, or and it's always it's wild.
Such a great
every
show.
single time I think I understand Rick and Morty, I'm like, oh, I didn't understand it fully.
Yeah. That's a hard episode to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre that like it's a weird one to even try to like pick apart, because none of it really mattered at all.
Nope. None of it.
And that's all that could be said about it, honestly. It's
yeah.
Like, what more can be said? I think it was a good one.
We can go through each specific gag.
No. Yeah. That's essentially what just happened.
Yeah.
After I finished that episode, I was like, I don't even know what to say. If I didn't have time to write notes, but I can't imagine. I don't think that there would have been any actual note taking during that.
No.
Besides, wow.
Wow.
No wows. No more wows.
And Mobius pops up.
Well, boys, any final thoughts here?
X Games.
I'm more interested in the Olympics, but whatever is your cup of tea.
One last thing though, just before we get lost, I just want to make sure we leave everyone with a tidbit of knowledge each week that can help them survive in this ever changing world. I think this is key.
This has become a thing.
This week, how do you survive in the jungle when you're lost?
I don't know, Winne. How do you?
5 easy steps, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Only
5. Number 1.
I think there'd be more than 5.
Well,
a lot harder.
Trust me, if you bring a helicopter, it's down to like 1.
All right,
now,
fair enough.
You could go at it a couple different ways. I'd recommend trying to find civilization. That's usually good, because if you're lost, people
just starting over.
Well, that's just one of the methods they suggest. There's multiple methods.
There's no particular order of
No, you could go a different way, but so I'd say find a river. That's easy. If you're in the desert, especially, there's rivers. I mean, basically anywhere. Oh, it's in the jungle, so I suppose it's probably not in the desert. So you have to be in the jungle.
Unless we're talking about a jungle.
You're in the jungle. You're lost. Find a river. Step 1. Make a raft. Let the current carry you downstream.
Dangerous.
No, this is very simple.
Is there a part?
I mean,
is there a part in the book on how to make a raft?
Yes, it actually, Jarod, references a page on which it's an internally referenced book, so you can make sure you're fully aware. Now, I'm not going to cover that this time, so maybe next time. So right now, try not to get lost, or else you might have issues in your boat building time. So anyways, let that current carry you downstream. Only travel during the daylight hours because, and this is interesting, alligators and crocs are night hunters. So go in the day. That's good knowledge there. Didn't know that. And watch. And number 5, this is very important when trying to find civilization, is watch closely for signs of civilization. So essentially what I'm saying is, if you're on land, if you're, on solid land and you're lost, try and make a boat and then just float on downstream.
Only during the day. Only during the day.
Yes. Yes.
Only during the day.
And then either find a civilization or look for signs of a civilization.
Yep.
Those are your two options going down the stream.
And you'll be set. In the urban environment of today, I'm walking in jungles every day, you know? There's a jungle right around the corner. There's a tree over there. I'm like, where am I? And I just try to find the river, and I can't even see it, but I had never tried looking for civilization before. So the game has been changed for me. I only hope that this was as meaningful and impactful as it was for me to you guys. So
our podcast is a jungle, and those are the steps on how to get out.
The steps to get out of the podcast are you cannot. You're lost.
You can like and subscribe, and then you might be done with your commitment to us.
Assuming you also commented as well.
And hit the notification bell.
Cole, what should people... I know there's a lot of conversation in the comments last week about my question about the ranch. So what do you guys have a question for the people this week?
Question for people in the comment section this week. Tell us what you think of the Great Recession. I want a full analysis of why you think we went into one, and how it might have compared to the 2008 recession.
5-word maximum.
And
5-word maximum.
And 5-word max, 5-word min. So it has to be 5 words.
Yeah, and if it's less than that, not good.
Explaining all those topics I just threw out.
Yeah.
I think it should be, instead of 5-word maximum, it should be a haiku.
Recession. Okay. Ready?
I like that.
I'm gonna deliver my recession haiku.
You have to do it in the comments. In the comments.
And with that, guys, that has been it for the Sci-Fi Rebellion podcast. We'll see you guys next week. We're gonna try to shoot for Monday uploads from here on out, but it might change a little bit, so we'll keep you up to date with the schedule. Keep you guys rocking and in the know-how and the know-do and the know-what. The what? Wait.
No.
I think.
No.
What does that sound?
Oh.
Get it out. Get it out.